It is UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad. And Belal, we'll just start right there. I mean, are you getting used to that introduction just yet? Is it still a little bit surreal to have that UFC champ ahead of your name?
That's the best introduction I've had so far, right? Because you're literally my first interview since I've been in the States, so it's cool just to hear it. But like all week, the UFC staff when I was down there, they're like, "Hey, what's up, champ? What's up, champ? What's up, champ?" And I was like, "All right, bro, I'm still alive. You can call me that." They're like, "Nah, we're gonna keep calling you champ." I was like, "All right, cool."
I love it, man. And by the way, I know you've been busy, but did you see the good news? Not only you champ, but you moved up again on the pound for pound list in this week's rankings. You're number 5 now on a week off.
Now it's like, yeah, it's crazy, right? This whole time I was trying to get into the rankings, I had to claw myself in there. But now they're giving me pound for pound rankings for free. I'm just like, all right, you just go up doing nothing. I'm like, all right, this is a good week.
I love that, man. All right, well, listen, like you said, you've been busy. Let's look back just a little bit. Fantastic performance defeating Leon Edwards at UFC 304. I know that you've watched it back a few times, and I know you're a perfectionist as well, right? I mean, the result, can't argue with the result. You're the champ. You got the clear win, no question about it. But how do you evaluate your performance? I mean, did it go exactly as anticipated? Are you hard on yourself that you could have done better? Was it perfect? What do you think about it?
It definitely wasn't perfect because I got these stupid stitches. But yeah, it was like everything I said before the fight, right? I said that I was going to make it look easy. I said I was going to walk him down, pressure him, make him uncomfortable, and then he was going to eventually break. And the fifth round, when you had that motivational speech from his coach that I told you was going to come, it didn't work. And you saw like them arguing with each other. It was cool to witness from the outside, but people will sit there and say that I was saying this before the fight. I was lying to myself before the fight. So now I'm going to go back to all the receipts and be like, what did I tell you? I told you so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because, we knew stylistically how you guys match up. And I was telling people, look, I'll be honest. I said, I think this is going to be way more competitive than anybody thinks. I was like, but this is tough. Leon's really good. And then you go out there in 10 seconds and you got the takedown. And I looked over at my wife and I'm like, oh my God, like this just got real interesting. So for you, was that a big moment? I mean, just that first right away to go in and we're not going up against the fence. We're not clinching. I got you on the ground like immediately. Was that even a big moment for you internally to be like, oh, this is my night?
That was for me to show the world what would have happened in that first fight, right? Because I said that I didn't even shoot a takedown in that first round yet. Like the first round in that first fight, he shot at me. I'm like, bro, we haven't even started fighting yet. For you guys to sit there and say, oh man, the rest of this would have happened, the rest of the fight would have happened that way. So I was like, you know what? I want to go out there and show you guys what would happen if I wrestle. Because they were like, oh man, Usman couldn't take him down. Whatchamacallit couldn't take him down. Kobe couldn't take him down. I'm like, bro, I wrestle better than them. I fight different than them. We're not the same guys. I'm my own guy. And when he was saying at fight week, oh, he's not a Khabib, he's not a GSP, he's a Belal Muhammad. Exactly, I am a Belal Muhammad. So I showed you exactly what I do to you.
I love that. All right, so great win, fantastic performance. You go straight to Abu Dhabi. Were you already planning on going to Abu Dhabi, or did the UFC ask you to go be a part of that event after you win? Like, how did that happen?
No, yeah, literally. Like I never make a plan before a fight, but yeah, obviously I would want to go support Umar, but like literally I finished the fight and it was still like 7 a.m. And then Ali hit me up like, brother, I think you should go to Abu Dhabi. Habib said come down there to see the guys, and I'm sitting there like I want it. Like whenever you win a fight, the first thing you want to do is go home. But dude, it was epic to go down there, see Habib, see his like reaction to the whole thing, man. It's like it was such a cool experience, especially even Islam, and then to watch Umar get a victory. It's always great to see them, and especially just the fans out there, man. Just to get that love was so cool, especially coming from some booze in Manchester to just nothing but love in Abu Dhabi was always epic.
That's awesome. And by the way, what a great performance by Umar, right? I mean, he looks like he might be holding a gold belt just like you real soon.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be another one added to the collection for Habib, right? I think that Sandhagen's so good, and I was worried about that fight because Sandhagen's good everywhere, and he comes from all different angles. And Umar showed in his first main event, he had a lot of pressure on himself. He had the whole country there for him, Habib in your corner, and then he went out there and executed flawlessly. I think he did a beautiful fight, and then people will say whatever they want to say, but like Sandhagen's the best in the world. He's one of the guys up there that could be a champion at any moment, and he's still going to stay up there for a while. So for Umar to get a win like that, it shut up a lot of people, right? Because they're all like, "Oh, who did he beat? He didn't do this to him," and now he just like he beat the number 2 guy in the world, and he's next.
I love it, man. All right. Well, listen, so you go to Abu Dhabi, you finally get home, right? And now you're immediately doing interviews. I know you got a full day of interviews to do. Have you had a chance to just like, A, I guess, see the family, B, like just decompress and unpack this all and like really process like where you are in your life now?
Man, honestly, no, because like we've been nonstop. And like everywhere I go, there's like a camera following me in here. And even yesterday when I got to Chicago, there was like the Channel 7 News was outside, right outside the airport. And then we went to my mom's house and they had like a surprise party with like 100 people there. And it's like there's still cameras there. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I just want to go to sleep. Like I want to just be in bed and just do my own thing. So like even now, like my gym is probably an hour away. So I drive a lot when I'm at home. So it was like it felt good to just to be go to practice right now, drive there by myself, just be alone in the car and just like settle things in on myself. But yeah, I think maybe a couple more days, hopefully, of just being alone time. It like hit me like, look where we are now. Because I always like look at the memories from Facebook, right? Because you get those Facebook memories 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and just seeing where we were and looking at how far we've come. Those are good reminders.
It's amazing. So I was super happy for you to win this time. Not as happy as Jason Anik, I don't think. That guy was over the top. But listen,
That's
I
my
was very happy.
right there.
That was amazing. I was happy because number one, you're just a great human being and you put in the hard work and you're deserving. But number two, I have a vested interest. You know, I got to call your last fight before you're in the UFC. And it's amazing. I think back on that experience, you know, meeting you and seeing you as an athlete. It always stuck with me like this guy's good. And I'm sitting there with Kamaru Usman calling the fight, right? And you're not even in the UFC yet. Here's the guy that ends up being a champ. Now you're past all that. You're the champ. You talk about all you've been through. I mean, that guy back in 2016, Titan FC, like everybody dreams, I'm going to go to the UFC and I'm going to be champion. But that's a long journey, man. A lot of people don't get it. Did you really believe at that time? Did you know, hey, this day is coming? Or was it just like kind of a pipe dream and we'll see what happens? I mean, can you put yourself back in that mindset?
Man, honestly, it was kind of like even when I got there and I got into the UFC and like my older brother would always be like, oh, call out Matt Brown, call out Carlos Condit. And it was like my first fight in the UFC. And I got my first win after my second fight. I'm like, bro, shut up. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not at their level yet. And he just kept saying it. And I was like, bro, get out of here. But then when I met like Mike Valle, probably like 9 years ago, and I trained with him for the first time, and he was like, oh man, you have everything to be a champion. And I was like, this guy's just trying to blow hot air in me. So I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, I could be a champion. I'm not even ranked yet. I haven't even fought a ranked fighter yet. And then just, man, trusting the process, continually growing, continually just putting my head down and just doing the work. And then all of a sudden it just starts, you get closer, right? You start inching toward it. And then even still, it was like, I didn't think it was going to happen, especially with the way my career was going and so many delays I've had. And even like this whole year was just like one of the hardest years ever because I like to fight. I love to fight. And I'm always training. I'm always in the practice room. And, you know, you're hearing everybody saying, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the title shot. This guy deserves it more than you. This guy deserves it more than you. And you're like, bro, what? Like, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to be another one of those sad stories that the guys that get so close and then something happens where they don't get the shot. And then finally we get the shot. And it's like a huge sense of relief because that's what you've been waiting, your whole career for this last 3 years. It was hard waiting for this moment. And then that's why people were like, man, you look so calm, cool, and collected fight week. And it was more so because that wasn't the stress part, man. That was like the gift. The gift was making it to that fight week. Like the stress was, man, we got to get this fight. Is this fight going to happen? I need this fight. And then once we got the fight, it was like, man, we're here now. Now it was like a blessing just to be there fight week. And I was like, there's nobody that's going to take this away from me. They can't snatch it off from me. And then I was just free that fight week. There was no fear.
That's awesome. Did you ever consider changing like your approach along the way? Because you always said like, hey man, I'm just going to win so much that they can't deny me. But a lot of people have said that, right? That they're not really quote unquote marketable or whatever the case may be. Although the belt wrap video may show that maybe you're a little bit more marketable than people thought. But you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a lot of people who say, well, I'll just beat everybody and then they can't deny me. But like, it's really hard to beat everybody on the way. And you did that. I mean, I don't know if anybody has knocked off more top contenders on the way to a title shot. So was there ever a thought along the way of, man, we got to tweak this approach. Maybe we got to trash talk a little bit more. Maybe we got to do something different so we can skip a couple steps on the way.
No, because I never wanted to fake it. I never wanted to be out of my character. And I always wanted to be that, like, I always looked up to Khabib. I always looked up to, like, a guy like him who he brought the religion Islam into the sport, and the world started learning from it just by his actions. So like I wanted to follow his footsteps and being that guy that the people look at me, oh, he's Muslim, he's this. Look what he does. He doesn't curse. He doesn't do this. So I wanted to be that guy to, to show what the religion is. And even now, even still now, like winning the title, and like you said, I already beat so many top contenders. It's like you could say Shavkat's next, but it's like, is he truly deserving to be next? Is Usman truly deserving to be next? Like, there's not really a clear number one contender if you're really thinking about it. When Leon won, I was the clear number one contender. I beat this guy, this guy, this guy. He's like, all right, well, he beat Wonder Boy, and I beat like 4 guys after Wonder Boy. So it's like, there's not really that guy where you're like, oh, he beat a number one contender. None of these guys beat a number one contender like I beat a number one contender. When I beat Luque, he was on a 7-fight winning streak. He was a number one contender. He weighed in as a backup. When I beat Gilbert Burns, he was on a 2-fight winning streak. He was a number one contender. He was right there. Sean Brady was 15-0 when I beat him. Like, all these guys had big wins, huge wins. But now, even still, but it tells me that I got like maybe 2 fights, and now I can start talking about, double champ status because I already beat all these guys in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. So you talked about. I loved your quote when you saw the pound for pound rankings. You're like another mountain to climb, and now you're talking about maybe what the future could hold. I wonder if that is tough, right? Because you work your whole career, so many years to get to this moment, and I always wonder how tough that is for a champion. Like, the dream is fulfilled, the belt is there, but then you realize, like, well, the career's not over. We got to go somewhere from here, right? So is it difficult to, I guess, make the adjustment of the focus of the goals, or to keep the motivation the same, knowing like, I did this, like nobody can ever take this away, but yet you want to do even more?
It's funny because Khabib was like, brother, make sure now you have to work twice as hard. Now the bullseye's on your back. Do not stop training. And even for myself, it's like, there's still the doubters, right? There's still the people out here that are saying that, oh, well, Shavkat will walk through him. He can't do that to Usman. He can't do that to Ian Gary. So for me, it was always about proving that I'm the best to ever do it, and I want to be the best to ever do it. So like, I'm chasing the GSP legacy. That's what I'm chasing. That's what my goal is to, like, when it's all said and done, my name's gonna be on the top of that book, and I want to be that guy that like fought everybody in my era. And I think this is the best era when you're talking about martial arts and fighting and guys that do it all. And I want to be the guy that did it all better than everybody else.
I love it, man. I just love that attitude, man. It seems like everybody's like, well, the money fight is this, the money fight. And I mean, this is about making money, right? Yeah. But I love that idea. No, I just want to beat everybody. I love it. When Demetrius Johnson was at his peak, right? And you look down and he had beat like number 1 through 10 contenders in the division. Like, that's pretty special. GSP, what he did, it's pretty amazing. So, I mean, is there a risk? I mean, how do you keep that legacy, that attitude, right? Because it would seem to be easy for me. Well, I'm going to go up to 85, and this is the big payday, et cetera, et cetera. But you're saying, hey, I don't even know if Shavkat's ready, but if he's the boogeyman, I'll take him. Why do you keep it that way?
Because, man, for me, it's just to prove the doubters wrong. Nobody thought I would be here. Nobody thought I could do this. And even when you're looking at me and the small team I come from, the small gym I come from, and when you see me in person, you're like, man, he doesn't look like he has the biggest attributes, the biggest thing. I didn't start martial arts when I was 2 years old, 1 year old. I wasn't born in Dagestan, but like, I just outworked everybody, and I pushed it harder than everybody. And even in training, like, I'm not afraid to go get beat up by these guys. Like, Khabib will still like walk through me, and I was like, I want some more. Do it again tomorrow. Do it again tomorrow, because that's how I learn. That's how I get better. And having my coaches, they're not yes men, right? They're like, hey, we still got to do this. Like, you got cut and the 5th round, so that means we still got more stuff to get better at. We got to do this right now. So we're always just trying to get better, always. And then having young guys in my gym, like Ignacio Balmundez, he's fighting at the Sphere, and he was like the perfect training partner for me to be Leon. So now I got to go back in the gym and help him, fulfill his dreams, reach his dreams too, because we're like a small family. So he was there for me. Now I got to get back in there for him. And me having Lewis Taylor as my mentor, like, I want to be these guys' mentor too, and to have them follow my footsteps and try to be like me, me showing them like what hard work could get you.
That's awesome, man. I love the way you're saying it, man. You're a great example for people to follow. So all the accolades, championship, finally getting the respect I think that you sought for a long time. But I mean, the shout out from CM Punk, right? Like, that had to be the biggest moment of it all. Man,
that's my brother right there. Seriously, like, when I saw that, I was like, bro, he's truly like the best, like the best in the world, right? That's what he is. And man, I was so mad too, because I wanted to go to SummerSlam to watch him. And me and my brother had it planned. And then when I went to Abu Dhabi, I was like, oh man, my brother was so mad because it was in Cleveland, and I got a lot of family in Cleveland.
That's awesome. Well, WrestleMania is going to be in Vegas next year, by the way. So maybe we can all meet up there and go watch Punk do his thing there.
Yeah, I think Survivor Series is in Chicago this year too. So I think I'm gonna hit that.
Ooh, nice. See, I'm still learning the WWE world. Punk's become a good friend, but I'm still learning the schedule, man. So I got to get it down. Well, Belal, hey, man, I want to let you go. I know you got a ton of interviews to do, and I know you probably just want to just unpack and enjoy the moment. But just want to say congratulations, man. I know this was a long journey for you to get here, but it was an incredible performance. We'll hope the nose gets healed up quickly, and maybe we see you before the end of the year.
For sure, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, just got to make sure this is all right. Then, yeah, definitely. Hopefully, we get on that December card. That'd be cool.
I love it. Hopefully, see you in Las Vegas. Enjoy the time off, champ. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother.